This is 5 on your side at noon. Focused on you.
We begin today in a weather alert, rain falling throughout the metro, and it'll likely be a washout for the entire day. Thanks so much for being here at noon. I'm Kay Quinn. There's a small chance some storms could pop out in the area. Meteorologist Tracy Hinson joins us. She is here with the Weather First forecast. Tracy?
Alrighty, Kay. So this is a bit of a tough one for forecasters today, as none of the models, none of the guidance here is agreeing. So it's going to be kind of a play it by ear sort of situation. So currently the radar shows a little bit of a split over the St. Louis area. That does mean a little less in the way of that heavier rainfall as that regular rain tracks further down to the south. Then we also have those storms that are tracking up to our north for now. You can see into the metro area, we are dealing with just regular very light rain right now, not much in the way of lightning either. So let's go ahead and time this out through the day. Here is 2 o'clock here, a couple of moderate to heavy showers, and then it looks like we're going to have a second round that'll pick up around 3 o'clock. As you can see, it's a little bit spotty here, so any change in direction will really impact this. Here's just about 5:12. You see some pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall there, and then this is when we have a slight chance for severe weather. I think our chances for severe weather are quite minimal today because we will stay overcast and we will stay pretty stable. If the sun was to come out, which I don't think is quite likely, we are going to have a better chance for severe storms because it'll add that heat, it'll allow that rise, which helps those storms grow. Our severe risk is mainly towards Farmington and into Potosi. And then you can see as we head into the early morning hours tomorrow, things are nice and dry and we are going to clear out. Coming up, I'll outline our temperatures in the 7-day.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Tracy. We're following breaking news at noon. A 9-year-old child has been shot in North St. Louis County. Here's the scene on Spring Garden Drive. About 2 hours ago, officers were called to a home there for an assault. They say someone fired shots at the building, injuring the child. The child was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We have a crew there right now. We'll bring you updates as soon as we learn more. Happening right now, a ceremony to honor Michael Brown. He's the teenager shot and killed by a police officer after a confrontation. The shooting happened 9 years ago today. Brown's death sparked protests in Ferguson and all across the country. This is a live picture from Canfield Drive where it happened. Dozens of people have gathered to remember him. Just moments ago, they held a moment of silence for 4.5 minutes, representing the 4.5 hours Brown's body laid on the street after the shooting. The prosecutor later announced a grand jury had ruled the shooting was justified. Charges were never filed against the officer involved. Later tonight, an organization started by Brown's father called Chosen for Change will hold its second Black Ball fundraiser and awards gala at the Ritz-Carlton in Clayton. That event honors Black educators. We are continuing to gather information about a stabbing that injured a police officer in the town of Nashville, Illinois. That's about an hour southeast of St. Louis. Police say the stabbing led to a 5-hour-long standoff overnight. It started as a well-being check. They say the officer was stabbed as they tried to put the man in protective custody. The man then barricaded himself inside a bathroom. No word on the officer's condition. 3 blackjack firefighters are recovering today after a traffic accident. It happened last night in North St. Louis County. 5 on your side's Alex Fees has details.
The 3 firefighters were hurt in a crash after the fire truck they were riding in swerved to avoid another vehicle. That scene then turned into a crime scene because the driver of that other vehicle did not stop. It happened last night about 9 o'clock at the intersection of Country Club and Old Halls Ferry. A Blackjack Fire spokesperson says the firefighters were heading north on Halls Ferry towards a structure fire. When a car suddenly pulled out in front of them, that's when the pumper left the roadway in an effort to avoid that vehicle. The fire truck then rolled over and apparently ended up in some trees. 3 firefighters on board were transported to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officials say the car that pulled out in front of the fire truck left the scene. No word today on whether those firefighters were actually admitted to the hospital. Reporting in North St. Louis County, Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
The votes have been counted in the special election in South St. Louis. Residents in the St. Louis Hills neighborhood passed Prop S with 55% of the vote. That means a tax hike will go into effect and provide more neighborhood cameras and patrols. It'll cost residents about $15 more per month. Smoking will soon be banned in St. Louis County parks. The ban will include tobacco and marijuana. Last night, the County Council passed an update to the Clean Air Code. It was prompted by the state's legalization of recreational marijuana. Another change, smoking and vaping will not be allowed outside county-run buildings. New details today about an expansion plan at Boeing, the company hoping to get approval from St. Louis Lambert International Airport to make a $2 billion investment. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon has more on the plan and the process.
This is key to significantly growing our advanced manufacturing capability at the site.
Randall Gelzer with Boeing says his company has big plans. The goal is to expand onto 154 acres of land located here on the site of St. Louis Lambert International. If the county gives the green light, Boeing's $1.8 billion investment would create hundreds of new jobs, paying on average $90,000.
This will allow us to compete for those next franchise programs in St. Louis.
At a county committee meeting Tuesday, support from community partners.
It is not often that you see competitive projects of this size considering St. Louis.
The creation of 500 new high-paying, full-time jobs, which will build on the existing 16,000 employees.
Boeing sits in our backyard. They share our runway with us every day.
The head of St. Louis Lambert International telling county leaders Boeing's ask aligns with the airport's goals to increase foot traffic and beautify the campus.
Taking the underdeveloped, underutilized land that we own and turning it into something to enhance the area around the airport. Take the eyesore out of there, take down the old decrepit buildings, and we'll see bright new facilities on our campus at our airport.
That was Brent Solomon reporting. Now, one person spoke against the measure with concerns about big businesses like Boeing getting subsidies. He asked county leaders to put the matter to voters. The Airport Commission is expected to take up the matter later today. Still ahead, wildfires in Paradise, where Hawaii residents are being forced to go in order to avoid a fast-moving fire. And a Mega Millions winner, where the winning lottery ticket was sold and how much the winner takes home.